everybody. Thank you so much for having me with you today. My name is Bergen Morehouse, and I serve as the Director of Competitive Events with National HOSA. And I'm excited to share just a little bit about CE this year and how you can help prepare, whether you are in a virtual setting or an in-person setting or some kind of combination. We know that things look very different, but we hope that you're just as excited as ever to compete this year. So kind of to start out, I just want to talk about the big picture, right, of competing and of competitive events as a whole. We really hope that this is just one part of your HOSA journey, and we want you to remember that it's not about the result or what happens in the end, it's more about the process. So it's not that one moment, at state where you might make it on stage or might not, or whether you advance to ILC or not. Rather, we hope that you view CE as an entire journey, right? It's a process, and it's meant to be one that you're experiencing with your job shadowing and your internships and all the people that you meet, your relationships with your peers and your local advisors. So I want to start off by playing a quick clip from you from one of our alumni members, and she's speaking to her experience competing in biomedical debate. Just a quick 30 seconds.
I did biomedical debate, and it was one of the best things I've ever done for myself. It gave me a lot of confidence to speak in front of people. It taught me to be able to understand why people believe the way they did about something. It taught me how to do research on my own, which is such a valuable skill, especially in college and even in my career now, where I still have to do research because physicians will put you on the spot and ask you questions.
All right, so just a quick clip, but again, she's not talking about the medal that she won in biomedical debate, right, all those years ago. She's talking about things that she learned, the people that she did the event with, and things that she still is implementing today in her career. So we really hope that you can look at CE with that attitude and that mentality going into your preparation this year. So a couple of things just quickly, of course, that we want you to be aware of when you're preparing for events, and of course the guidelines. I know you all know this. They're under our competition tab on our website. Know them, read them. These are all of the rules, all of the details for all of the events that we have. Really, we hope that you look at the new files every year. So even if you've competed in medical terminology in the past, make sure that you're coming back to these files every year because there are changes that happen. We do try to put this what's new box at the top of each guideline file so you can quickly see the big picture things that might have changed in the event from the previous year. So I know you know this, make sure you're going to the guidelines every year to get everything that you need to know. The second part though is I want to highlight our general rules and regulations. And this is that first drop down in the competition tab. And there's a file here. And these are really important because these are the big picture rules for everybody to follow who's competing. So all these important details that apply across the board, right? Regardless of which event that you're in. And some of the most frequently asked questions that we get can actually be found in these GRRs. So make sure that you're reading them. I know they're not the most exciting. They're a lot of text, but maybe you can come up with a really creative way in your chapter to encourage each other, make a game or something to read and to study these GRRs because they are very important. And then the last thing, just kind of like with technical stuff that I wanted to highlight is our appendices. So again, under the competition tab, and there's some different ones here for you. There's 8 appendix files that all relate to competition. Really the 3 we probably see the most or get questions the most on is dress code. There's a really great new dress code poster if you haven't seen this yet that kind of outlines the difference between general session dress and competitive event dress at ILC. So definitely check that out. We also have policy about the photo ID that is now required at ILC. If you're using any kind of smartphone or electronic device policy. So again, just kind of an extension of CE that sometimes I think gets overlooked. So this is another part that we just wanted to bring to your attention. And then to help you prepare, I want to also make sure that you see the useful tools page that we have online. This is a really great page that is full of all kinds of different tools that we hope are useful to you as you prepare. So the first section here is this, what event is right for you? So there's a great video, it's about 15 minutes that we have that outlines just kind of how to think about competition and how to, it kind of walks you through a flow chart of what questions to ask and how to determine what event might be a good fit. And you can see the flow chart looks like this. Hopefully this might look familiar to many of you, but it just asks you questions and then it kind of spits out on this other side what events might be a good fit. So that chart is there, but then there's also a video that kind of walks you through that as well. Then we have an event preparation section. So again, under here, there's a great video preparing for HOSA competition and then key components of competition. So these are kind of diving into the guidelines a little bit further and helping you understand, how to look at the resources, what the test plan is, the importance of the rating sheets and the skill checkoff sheets. So that's going to be another great section for you to make sure that you're looking at. And then finally, the event samples. I know a lot of people want to see what the event looks like in person. And in the past, we've always been able to post samples of a sample of community awareness portfolio, for example, or a sample of an extemporaneous writing essay. But one benefit from having our ILC virtual last June was that we actually have recorded presentations now that are added as samples. So you'll see in a lot of these, there'll be video samples as well as regular samples. So you can see an actual portfolio in Word or PDF. And then a lot of these, the videos are the actual presentations that teams or individuals submitted for last VILC. So that will be another great resource for you. So I think, moving forward this year, obviously everything looks different for all of us in the classroom and with HOSA, but we really want you to remember that the content and the heart of competition is not different, whether you're remote or you're in person or whatever combination that is. It's really just about knowing what to expect. And so we know that all states are handling their state conferences, all chartered association conferences differently this year, just because all states are in different places in regards to the COVID regulations, and all states are different sizes and have different policies in place. And so states are handling competing differently. And so some of them may require you to only upload a copy of your portfolio. In other states, you might do live appointment times over Zoom or GoToMeeting or whatever platform that they might be using. Other states might have you upload videos to Tallo or another platform. So I think really the biggest tip that I can give you this year is to make sure that you're watching your state website, you're watching whatever the social media platforms are that your state officers are putting out, whatever that communication platform is for you at your state, make sure that you're watching that, because all of the leadership in the state, they're doing a really great job of sharing what the plan is, sharing how, any modifications that are being made to competition. So that is the biggest part. I would just really encourage you to make sure that you're aware and that you're looking for the communication about how competing and what the events are going to look like this year. So last year for VILC, we had an entire page here on our ILC website under the competition tab. And this was dedicated to just sharing all of the modifications that we made to events. So we had, kind of revised rubrics and what we called information sheets that summarized how each of the virtual events was going to be handled. And so be looking for what your state is going to put out in this same regard. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop my share screen here. One moment. Okay. So that just kind of some of the technicalities, I guess, if you will, and hopefully a few tips in helping you prepare for competition. But I also wanted to share a story with you about lessons in leadership, I guess, that we hope that you can take away from competing. What many of you, I guess I heard some of this from a speaker that I recently had the opportunity to listen to. Her name was Stacy Flowers, and it really spoke to me, and I think it's really applicable to not only competition, but to HOSA as a whole. So many of you might have heard of Jim Rohn. He was an entrepreneur and an author and a motivational speaker, and he's kind of noted or famous, I guess, for saying that You are the average of the 5 people that you choose to associate with the most. Okay, and then this recent speaker I heard, Stacey Flowers, she takes Mr. Rohn's comments further and says that the 5 people that you need in your life to be successful are your cheerleader, your mentor, your coach, your friend, and your peer. Okay, so we're just going to go through these 5 people together. So first of all, you have your cheerleader, okay, represented by your thumb finger. This is the person who believes in you when you don't believe in yourself. They are rooting for you while you're on your path. They're that thumb because they're always giving you the thumbs up, right? They're inspiring you. So I really want you to think about who is that cheerleader in your life as you're preparing for competition, as you're preparing to become a future health professional. You know, who tells you that you can do it no matter what, doesn't matter, we know you're going to succeed no matter what happens, okay? So be thinking about your cheerleader. And then secondly is your mentor. And your mentor is somebody to point you in the right direction, okay? So that's why it's represented by our pointer finger. They're there to help answer our questions. You know, is healthcare right for you? What event out of all of these competitive events that we have, what event might be a good fit for you based on your interest? I'm guessing for a lot of you, your mentor might be your local chapter advisor, or maybe it's a teacher or somebody in the school system that you can go to, but they really help show you the path. They show you that next step and help point you on the way. Okay, the next person, number 3, is our coach. Our coach is designed to make you feel uncomfortable, okay? They're the one that pushes you out of your comfort zone, and they help you strengthen a very specific set of skills. So if you're wanting to compete in nursing assisting, for example, it's a nurse that you can job shadow, right? To help show you that, you know, this is how you make an occupied bed, or somebody who works in human resources who can help you improve your interview skills if you want to compete in job seeking or an interview skills event. Or maybe it's somebody who can help critique your speaking skills and your posture and your body language if you're in one of the teamwork or the leadership events, okay? So going back to your mentor, our pointer finger, right? Maybe that's your chapter advisor. They can point you to your coach, right? They can help connect you to that nurse, but you need that coach to learn the specific skill. And remember that being uncomfortable is how you grow and how you learn. And so your coach is going to help you get super specific on how you can improve those skills that you need for your event, and then bigger picture for how you can help or how you can better become a health professional in the future. Okay, number 4. Number 4 is a friend, okay? And this is represented by our ring finger. So our friend is someone that reminds you of your, you know, your true dream, your true vision, your goals, your passions. You know, this is not your 5,000 friends on Snapchat or whatever. This is, you know, that person that you can talk to and really confide in. And, you know, this is who you tell about, you know, this is why I want to go into healthcare and why I think competing in this event is gonna help me. And this is my passion for this field. And I want to make a difference in the world, and this is how I'm going to do it. Okay, the person that you're talking to about those things, that's your friend. Okay, then finally we have our peer. Okay, and this is represented by our pinky finger. This is somebody that you can commiserate with a little bit, right? This is somebody who gets it. They get what you're doing in competition. They understand what you're doing, wanting to go into healthcare. You know, maybe this is somebody who's also competing in the same event as you, or somebody who has that same long-term goal as, you know, going to medical school, maybe, you know, X number of years down the road. It's somebody in your chapter. It's another state officer. It's another local chapter member that you have met through HOSA, right? A lot of times what happens is when, you know, things get hard, or you come across a bump in your path, you go to a friend, right? You go back to this person, our friend, but really our friends, sometimes they can't relate to that stuff, right? If they're not in HOSA, or they're not competing, or they're not doing all of these things that you're doing right now to prepare for that med school down the road, then they don't get it, right? They don't understand. So you need that peer, that somebody who talks your language, who can give you the support that you need specifically on your journey. So I really hope that you can think about these 5 people as they relate to how you prepare for competition, but then also more importantly, how these 5 people can help you on your journey in HOSA and on your journey to becoming a future health professional. So thank you so much for letting me spend a few minutes with you today, and good luck this year, and please feel free to reach out if we can be of any assistance. Take care.